Dog.
Dogs.
Yeah, I know. Gussie, you're gonna be on TV.
So I have two more questions. Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can't see the timer, so I'm like, ugh.
No, it's fine. You did 21 minutes.
Oh, nice.
You
Okay.
have like an hour, so.
If you have.
Go ahead.
In today's society, there's an increasing fear of Big Brother due to surveillance cameras, internet websites, Google Street, all that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
stuff. Do you find this affects your practice concerning approaching people on the streets for portraits?
No, I think I'll have to refer you back to the answer sort of about that, but also the equipment I use. Everyone's running around with an EOS Rebel. It's like those things are a dime a dozen. I was in New Jersey last year. I was following the Passaic River, and we pulled into Patterson just before sunset, and we're driving along a road beside the river, and there's a basketball court with 4 courts and a chain link fence, and it's a bunch of brothers shooting hoops, and they were smoking blunts and drinking gin and juice and just hanging on a Thursday evening in Patterson, New Jersey. And we get out of the car and put the 4x5 over. I put the 4x5 over my shoulder. It's like an axe. And walk in, and sort of everyone stopped. We were the only white guys probably within 5 square miles. It was like a totally black area. So that was sort of weird. And then they sort of look at the thing and go, "What the fuck is that?" And then I go over and start talking to them. And I had a portfolio I'd shot in Mississippi with me, and I pulled that out and showed them. And there's this huge that book has never been looked at as closely as those guys in the basketball court in Patterson, New Jersey looked at that book. They were totally interested and flabbergasted in sort of seeing their Southern brothers represented like that, and so on and so forth. And then you pull out the 4.5, and all of a sudden it's this thing where it's not an EOS Rebel. It's like this guy is doing something that we've never seen before. And sometimes they say, "Can I see that?" Like they want to look at the back of the camera. I go, "No, dude, it's like not digital. It's like no one sees it till the film gets processed. That's the beauty of it." And I also work with a Hasselblad. So I think that I'm not to be a geek or anything, but the gear and the energy you bring to the shoot really can change how people respond to you. It's like when I was photographing those women crack addicts with the 4.5, they were very tight shots and there's hardly any depth of field. They had to actually concentrate. They had to be there in that moment of staring into the lens, me operating the machine and standing beside it, and them concentrating on what they wanted to put into the lens. Because I think specifically with the crack addicts, because their emotions are so on the surface, there's not a lot of transparency. I mean, they're totally transparent in a lot of ways because their nervous systems are so fucked, I suppose. But they would respond to the machine in ways that were actually really, really surprising. So I mean, that's part of it. The other part is just the I guess the energy and the interest that I bring. And I show work to people, and that really helps. Once I sort of flip open a book, they sort of look and go, "Okay, this guy looks like he might actually know what he's doing." Mm-hmm. And then there's also the name dropping. These are all sort of techniques I use to get people to come to me. There's also the name dropping. Like I don't know if you've noticed when there's a guy on TV doing a streeter, and he's standing there with the microphone, and people in the background wave because they want to be on TV. That's there's a lot of people want to be on TV, but there's also a lot of people want to be represented. Period. They want to be seen elsewhere. And so, I can say to people, they say, "Well, what do you do with these pictures?" And I say, "Well, they get shown in galleries, and, the New York Times ran pictures, and Newsweek Japan ran pictures, and they get published all around the world." And then that also appeals to people's egos. So I think that when I'm there on the ground, the whole Big Brother thing is like, so obviously, Big Brother doesn't work with a 4x5. Big Brother works with a satellite. So I'm flesh and blood. So people respond to the flesh and blood. So to me, it's not really an issue. And the whole time we were in Jersey too last year, we were there for a week, and we were photographing fuel dumps and bridges and buildings and stuff like that. And there's a lot of cops. Have you ever been to New Jersey?
Not really.
A lot of cops. There's a lot of cops in New Jersey. Like there's county cops and city cops and state. It's just like everywhere. Every time you look up, there's a cop car going by. We'd have the camera set up photographing like a fuel dump in Port Jersey, and the cop just looks at us, keep going, because it's like I think if you want images of that, you go to Google Earth. If you're a terrorist, you don't use a 4.5.
Yeah.
We got stopped by the police once, and that was because we'd climbed over a fence and we're standing right at the edge of a cliff photographing Paterson, New Jersey, and the cop just came to make sure we weren't going to fall off. Yeah. But again, that's I think it all relates back to the personality of the camera operator. You know, it's what that person brings colors everything. And I think what you have to bring is yourself. You can't bring me, you can't bring her. You got to bring yourself, and that is what makes it so difficult. How do you bring yourself? Like, do you know yourself well enough to bring it? How old are you?
I'm 20.
Yeah, you don't.
I'm 27.
Yeah, you might. Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't feel like I.
But you also have to create a pile of shit. This is what you graduate from art school, but you're not an artist. You graduate from art school, and then for the next 4 or 5 or 10 years, you have to somehow motivate yourself to create this pile of shit that you've made your own self that you have to climb over. You spend all this time and money and emotion creating this huge pile of shit. And then if you can get through all that, eventually you get to a plateau of your own shit where you can actually see where you want to go. Unless you're some like total prodigy and who does like a really great thing right out of school, but then probably the rest of your life is just some denouement to that. To me, you have to build up to all that, and building up to it means practicing and trying to figure out who you are and what you have to say and how you want to approach the whole wide world, and that's the thing that takes a lot of practice, and a lot of ambition, and a lot of discipline, and unless you can do that, then you'll graduate from art school, you'll try to practice for a year and you'll wait tables, and then you get sick of being poor, and then you go, fuck, no one wants to buy my paintings, and I tried doing commercial illustration but I don't have the business sense. So then you go back to school and you take accounting and you end up working for your mom and your dad or something, right? So I mean, to me it's a natural winnowing process. I think it's a good process because what it does is it separates out the pretenders from the people that actually need to say something.